Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this, and this is my Wrestlemania 27 review. Overall, I thought the show was decent at best. I mean, there was nothing really special about it. It had three good matches, a few average matches, and about three absolutely terrible matches. So we open the night with The Rock coming out, basically, because he's the host and he's saying this is going to be the best WrestleMania and the most memorable WrestleMania. So he cuts about a 15-minute promo. Kind of goes on a little bit, maybe a little bit too long for my liking, but he drives the point home really. Yeah, so he was getting the crowd to chant. He said wrestle, and then they said mania, and it's like wrestle, and they said mania. It's like yay. That was quite cool. I did like that. So yeah, he said this is going to be the most memorable WrestleMania. Will this be the most memorable WrestleMania? We will see. So we start the night with Alberto Del Rio versus Edge, and what I thought was a 3-star. It was a good match. There was lots of back and forth action, lots of counters. Lots of near falls. At one point, Edge went for a roll up, and Alberto Del Rio countered, and went straight into the cross arm breaker. He literally, as soon as he reversed that roll up, he went straight into the cross arm breaker. What I also liked about the match, I did like the dive over the top rope that Edge did. It looked kind of messed up, actually. Maybe it was just the way he landed it, but hey. It looked alright. It didn't look that bad. Maybe it was just me, but I just thought it was strange the way he landed it. At one point, Brodus Clay on the outside basically threw Edge's shoulder into the ring post, and Alberto Del Rio locked on a cross arm breaker. Again, this was like earlier on in the match, and he actually managed to get to the rope that time. Christian got involved at one point. He gave a massive tornado DDT to Brodus Clay on the outside, which was pretty cool if you ask me. He jumped off of the ring apron and DDT'd him on the outside. So yeah, it was nice to know that they were actually getting involved in the match and they weren't just standing there, doing absolutely nothing. Otherwise, I mean, what was the point in them being out there? At least they actually did get involved. I mean, at one point, Brodus Clay actually suplexed Christian on the outside, which was pretty cool. It looked like a T-bone suplex. It could be like a fall-away slam, but it looked like a T-bone suplex to me, because it looked like one of the T-bone suplexes they have on the game. So there you are. I don't judge every wrestling match by the video game, don't worry. So yeah, in the end, Edge, Alberto Del Rio went for the cross arm breaker again, but he went to the well too many times, as they say, and Edge eventually speared him in the end and got the 1-2-3. After the match, they basically crushed. Well, I wouldn't say they crushed Alberto Del Rio's car, but they basically scratched the paintwork and smashed the windows. Basically destroyed his limo, which was quite cool. I did like that moment. His face was just so funny. He was like, no! As he was watching his car. I don't know why he just didn't do anything, hello? But maybe it's just because he's trying to sell the fact he was just in a match or something. But, and he got, speared the life out of him. But surely you could protect your car. What's more important, the World Heavyweight Championship, which you pay nothing for, or your car, I guess in wrestling, the world title is, but so you're actually paying for that car. You're not paying for the world title, are you? You're not paying to have a world title match. Wouldn't that be weird if you have to pay for world title matches? Anyway, that's JBL would like in 28 million of them. With the amount of money he would probably, his character has. Anyway, completely off topic there. So we go on to the next match, which is Cody Rhodes versus Rey Mysterio. Man, the crowd was just dead for this match, and honestly I thought it was really, really boring. I'm thinking I was going to give it 2 stars, but then I'm thinking maybe I'm going to give it 1.5. I think I'll go with 1.5. It really, the reason I give it 1.5 and not 2 is because it just was so boring. I mean, one, the crowd wasn't into it that much, probably because they were, you know, really into the first match, which they were, but it was just so tediously boring. I mean, there was good parts, like Ray hit a moonsault at one point, and I think there was a nice reversal where Ray ended up kicking him in the head. There was a few nice reversals, but in the end, Cody Rhodes got the win with the crossroads, which was good. I'm glad Cody won, because I mean, I don't see why Ray would need the win. I was about to say Regal, wouldn't that be awesome, but I don't see why Ray would need the win. I think it really helped Cody Rhodes by getting this win, and yeah, I think we're going to see a rematch at the next pay-per-view, Extreme Rules, so in some kind of stipulation match. So yeah, next we move on to the Corre taking on. I thought I put down Edge there. I was thinking, what? Sorry, I mean Kane, The Big Show, Kofi. I'm from Jamaica. No. I'm from Africa. No. I'm from West Ghana. No. Kingston versus Mr. Cobra. I mean, this man, Mr. WrestleMania, Santino Marella. This match, seriously, in all seriousness though, had absolutely no point in being on the card. It lasted like 2 minutes and was an absolute squash. There was no point in this being on a WrestleMania card. I should have just saved it for Raw, to be honest with you. What a waste of time. The only good thing I think I remember out of this match was I keep saying Regal. Kofi Kingston doing a running crossbody off of the apron. Obviously seeing the Cobra was cool, but I didn't include that into the half a star that I gave it. But what I did like about it was I did like the ending. I thought, you know, the Cobra into the knockout punch, I thought that was quite cool. Man, what a waste of time. It really didn't do anything for the Corre. It didn't do anything for Kane and The Big Show and Kofi and Santino. It really didn't do anything for them. It's like, yeah, we beat them in like 2 minutes. Man, that made Wade Barrett's Intercontinental title win look like a complete fluke. I mean, yeah, he just got his ass kicked within like 2 minutes. He just won the title. And it made the tag champions look like jokes. Ezkial Jackson hit a clothesline at one point, but I think that was the only thing he actually did in the match. I mean, you have him body slam The Big Show on SmackDown, but then at WrestleMania, you have him clothesline him, and that was it. You should have saved that for Mania, in my opinion. It would have probably amped the match up just a little bit, you know. It wouldn't have done that much of a difference. I mean, it wouldn't have made it that much better, but I mean, at least it'd be some kind of Mania body slam moment. Brought to you by Hulk Hogan. Anyway, Randy Orton versus CM Punk was the next match. Now, I'm changing it to 3.5 instead of 3, because actually, you know, this, in my opinion, was probably the best match of the night. I mean, you had Orton, who already attacked Randy Orton's leg on Raw with some kind of pipe, I think, and basically Orton was selling it. I mean, he was bandaged up. I mean, he was literally selling that injury perfectly. I mean, during the match, he was literally selling that like a pro, man. It was amazing. I mean, CM Punk kept working over the leg, good psychology. Randy Orton kept selling the leg really well, because, you know, if you can't have psychology without selling, otherwise this guy's just wasting his time working on a body part if you don't sell the move, you know. There was a nice counter at one point where Randy Orton went for the RKO and CM Punk just kicked him in the head. It was nice. I enjoyed that quite a lot. The ending sequence came when CM Punk went for a springboard clothesline, I'm guessing, and Randy Orton caught him into the RKO, which was pretty cool. Also, at one point during the match, Randy Orton went for the Punk kick, but he ended up falling over because his leg was too injured that he couldn't actually hit the kick, which was amazing, you know. Some people would say, I saw some people in this chat room I was watching it on, saying, oh, that was fake, this was fake. Well, hello, this is called psychology, and this is called realistic. If someone keeps kicking you and battering your leg, you're really going to end up taking its toll in the end, isn't it, really? You know, it makes sense. You don't see that, you know, psychology that much in wrestling anymore, but it was good. I enjoyed it. So now we go on to the ever-living clusterfuck of a crazy match known as Jerry the King Lawler vs Michael Cole. At the start, Cole tried to hide in his coal mine, which is actually kind of funny, I must say. But dear Lord, Michael Cole trying to actually wrestle was just so stupid. I mean, it was rubbish. Absolutely rubbish. Michael Cole is trying to do like, what the stupidest thing, like he just kicked his leg, and he stood on his leg. I mean, it makes sense at the end of the day, because he's working. The crazy thing about it is it actually makes sense, like Mark P said. You know, at the end, I'll give him credit for that, because it actually makes sense, because he's working over his leg to set up the ankle lock, which he supposedly learned from Jack Swagger. And then at one point he actually did lock it on, and I was thinking, wow, Michael Cole could generally actually win, but you know, I'm a sucker for anything, so I don't want no rude jokes on that either. So yeah, and then Cole just literally, what I liked about it is just Michael Cole ended up getting battered for a fair bit. King, what I also gave this half a star was the fact that King hit an amazing drop kick on Michael Cole, which literally like, it's just so perfect, man. I mean, it wasn't like 15 feet in the air, you know. Okay, that's, you know, a bit over the top. I mean, it wasn't like the highest drop kick you've ever seen, is what I'm trying to say. But I mean, it was a nice looking drop kick, and Cole went down straight away. It was quite funny. It was like a UFC drop kick kind of thing, which was quite funny. The end came after Jerry Lawler hit a fist drop. Hit his patented fist drop from the second rope, and then locked on the ankle lock and made him give up, which is quite nice. I'm trying to remember what else happened, really. It's not that memorable of a match, to be honest. Then again, it isn't really a match, so what can I say? Damn, we've already been going for 13 minutes? Holy shit. Sorry. Yeah, so, and then at the end of the thing, I don't even know why, but for some reason the general manager's laptop goes off. Since when did the Raw GM control WrestleMania? He didn't even need to be there, but it was there just so that The Rock could say it doesn't matter what you think at the end. And yeah, he said that Cole won because Stone Cold got involved, which was bizarre to say the least. I don't see how he won because the referee got involved. I mean, it kind of makes sense, but it doesn't really. I mean, this is Jerry Lawler's waited for ages for this WrestleMania match. He finally gets it, and then he ends up getting screwed over because of a random DQ from out of nowhere. I feel sorry for him. Seriously. He worked all this hard just to get to Mania, and then end up having some screw job ass ending. And wrestling Michael Cole. Wow. Whoop-de flippin' do, eh? So yeah. And then Stone Cold ended up stunning. I thought he should have stunned Michael Cole. One of the things I also thought that should have ended the match was a pile driver as well. And during the end of the match, I thought it wasn't going to end because Stone Cold was like, Michael Cole, he didn't even say, do you give up? He just kind of let him do the ankle lock for ages, which is kind of bizarre. And he was tapping out with both hands, which is hilarious. He's like, oh, I give up already, damn. And then eventually Stone Cold rang the bell, and like I was saying, he stunned Jack Swagger during the match. At the end of after the match, Booker T came in, did a spinneroonie and taunted for some unknown reason. I guess just to promote Tough Enough. I guess it was meant to be. And then he ended up getting a stunner, which you kind of saw coming, but it was pretty cool, to see it anyway. And then randomly, for no apparent reason, Josh Matthews got stunned. What was the point in that? Seriously, it was cool, but it made absolutely no sense at all. Like this whole match, was just, it just wasn't very good. I'm sorry. There's some parts of which were entertaining, but other than that, it literally was just not good at all, really. I wasn't expecting much from Michael Cole, but I think they could have pulled out something else other than that. So yeah, after talking about that match for about 5 minutes, we go on to Undertaker vs Triple H. Now I saw one of my friends gave this match 5 stars, and I'm thinking, are you crazy? Also, I would like to, while I'm at it, I would like to promote MVP is alive. I think he may be in my channels on my page. If he isn't, I'll add him, or I'm going to put the link in the description box. He doesn't make that many videos that often, but he's a good friend of mine. I've talked to him for a good few years, I think. Yeah, since about 09-ish. And we usually talk about wrestling on the PSN, so it's nice to know he's making videos. He doesn't make them that often. I wish he would make more videos on wrestling and things. But yeah, he has some interesting opinions. We usually don't agree, but it's nice to know, not everybody has the same opinion as you, and which is cool. So personally, he gave this match 5 stars, but personally I think it was just so boring. I mean, it was so slow, it was just boring, it was tedious, it was like, really. There were some cool parts, like I liked the fact that, Triple H spine busted Undertaker through the table at one point. I thought that was a nice spot. Triple H hit the pedigree about 3 times and still couldn't get the win. I mean, this match, personally, what I thought the problem with it was just a clusterfuck of finishes, if you ask me. It really was. It was just like chokeslam, last ride, pedigree, tombstone. I mean, that, it was just, there was no actual wrestling to it. It was just finisher fest, if you could call it. It just bored me. What I like about it is, if you're going to do like a match like this, what I would have liked it is if Triple H goes for a pedigree and Undertaker counters, and he goes for the tombstone, and then Triple H counters, and then he ends up hitting a pedigree. Which, I'm a person who likes counters into more counters, or like you counter a finisher into another finisher, personally. But just picking them up and hitting them with a finisher, it's like, without them even trying to fight out, it's just kind of like, wow, really? But hey, at one point, yeah, like I was saying, at one point, well, I wasn't really saying it, but hey, Triple H did the Undertaker taunt and then hit a tombstone. He even had the tongue thing going and everything, which I thought was hilarious. But that only got 2. What I like about this match, like Mark B said, is the fact that you actually thought maybe the streak could end. I always have an open mind about the streak. I think, okay, it could end this year, because I don't want to go into it thinking the streak isn't going to end, the streak isn't going to end, the streak isn't going to end. I just think it makes it more exciting if you go in with an open mind and think the streak could end this year. I wasn't expecting this match to be as good as HBK and Undertaker last year, but it was just so boring in my opinion. Not much to it. There was actually like hardly any wrestling. It was just a load of finishes and stuff, and just bored me. I'm sorry. It was just so slow, and the fact that Undertaker almost killed himself after diving over the top rope with that dive. I was saying, because I was in a chat room at the time, I was saying, Taker, you got to stop doing that dive, otherwise you're going to end up killing yourself. And it seemed like Taker was seriously injured after that, because at the end of the match, it was like, he was literally like getting put on a stretcher. It could have been just to sell the match, but and you know the fact he was really beaten up. But other than that, I mean, it looked like he could have been seriously hurt from that. Then again, that's what he does at WrestleMania. He brings out all the stops, which is what I like about Taker. I always respect him for that. I just didn't like the ending that much, personally. That's one of the things that also let it down for me. I mean, it just looked like he was in the Hell's Gate for what felt like forever. Looks like he was going to hit him with a hammer. Looks like he was going to hit him with a hammer. Looks like he was going to hit him with a hammer. And then it just taps out. Like, what the fuck? I guess the idea was he was going to hit him with a hammer, but then completely failed. He always seems to fail against everybody, hitting everybody with a hammer. Personally, I didn't like the Hell's Gate ending. Surely you would have learned from your friend who got locked in the Hell's Gate before that you would have learned, you know, to get out of it, but hey. Would have preferred it to end by a tombstone myself, but I guess they just, someone said they had to make the match shorter because they were injured or something, but I don't know, that I didn't like that ending, to be honest. So finally, after talking about that match forever, we go on to the second from last match, which is John Morrison, Trish Stratus, and Snooki versus Laycool and Dolph Ziggler. Now, first of all, can I say, who on earth is Snooki? Alright, I live in England, okay? I have never heard of Jersey Shore. We don't get it over here. Don't watch it. Don't know. Anyway, yeah, this match was just rubbish. I'm sorry, I know that's kind of almost the common theme of this video. But the one thing that gave it half a star was that Starship Pain on, I think it was Ziggler, on the outside. That was amazing. Okay, and actually Snooki did a nice, impressive. She did like a cartwheel into a flip backwards, and then ended up hitting an elbow and then a splash, which I actually really enjoyed. I was like, damn, you go, girl. That's the only reason he got half a star, man, because of them few things. Other than that, it would have just got a dud. Finally, The Miz versus John Cena. This match was good, near falls. There was like loads of interference. At one point, Alex Riley hit Cena with a briefcase. Lots of close near falls. At one, you thought the match was over, but it wasn't. Miz hit the skull-crushing finale at one point. Cena kicked out. Cena hit the attitude adjustment. Miz kicked out. I actually thought Cena was going to end up winning, but he didn't. And basically, I'm just going to run through this match quickly. Basically, the ending came when they both double count out. How stupid is that? At WrestleMania, you have a double count out. Which this was a complete waste of time. I don't see why they should have just made the match and The Rock come out and then end up rock botting him. Oh, forget it. End up delivering a rock bottom to Cena. You know, she just ran out and did it. I guess it made sense, but it was just so stupid. What a waste of time. This match isn't gonna. He needed to cut like a 5-minute promo just to say, you know, the match isn't going to end like this. That's what took away from the match for me. That ending. I mean, it was a good match, but it was just that ending took away from it. And the fact that The Miz still can't win by himself. He still needs interference. He still cannot get a clean one-on-one pinfall victory without no interference helping him and literally winning the match for him. Because I mean, The Rock. What I mean by this is the fact that The Rock ended up hitting the rock bottom on Cena, and then The Miz covered him and pinned him for the 1-2-3, and that was it. And yeah, so the Mania goes off the air, and there it is. So overall, I give us a 5.5. It was literally like average, and it barely makes it past 5 because there was a few good matches, especially that Punk versus Orton match. Maybe this is just a low rating for me because I'm never really that great at overall ratings. So I literally either too high or too low or something. But I would be happy. I might end up changing it to about a 6 or 5.75, but it isn't going any higher than that, I'm afraid. This Mania was average. It literally wasn't nothing special. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't horrible, you know. So yeah, it was average for me. Thank you for watching this long video. My name is Eliminator RRR. Thank you for watching. Remember John Lennon. Peace and love. Thank you. Goodbye. Keep it cool.